What happened after I revealed my truth at her wedding? Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. The music keeps playing because the DJ can't see the officiant freeze, and I'm already between Elise and Tyler when the candles sputter. I'm the breathless interruption in a dress 2 sizes too formal. I'm the sister who stopped swallowing the lie. My name is Mara, I say into the hush, and I have something to say before vows happen under false pretenses. Elise's bouquet tilts. Tyler's practiced smile tightens like a fist in velvet. Mom covers her mouth like she can hold the room inside it. I don't look at faces yet. I look at the aisle runner, ridiculous with petals, and think, people will remember the runner if I shake. My hands don't shake. I raise a slim black binder, tabbed, dated, screenshot heavy. This will sound impossible, I say, until you see what I brought. What do I risk? Thanksgiving, porch talks, the fragile truce with our mother that depends on me never being the problem. But I'm done trading my spine for invitations. The venue manager hovers by the pillar where a quiet HDMI cable waits. Uncle Theo, eyes steady, nods from the back, a conspirator made of patience and proof. Tyler leans in without losing his smile. Not here, he whispers. There is no other place left? I answer, and the microphone catches it. This is where vows meet truth. The officiant's hands are still poised in midair. The quartet's last chord hangs like fog. Elise whispers my name as if it's the escape route. The first slide flashes on the screen, and Tyler finally stops smiling. I grew up learning to make myself quiet where Elise turned luminous. She was the golden angle in every photo. I was the moving blur. At 14, I became the too intense kid, which meant my questions were inconvenient. It started with little things. Mom dubbing my memory creative. When Elise misplaced a bracelet, I watched her drop into the laundry hamper. By college, I could narrate the script. Elise forgot. Mara overreacted. Mom smoothed. I apologized. At the bridal shower, Tyler pinched my elbow hard enough to leave a sunflower bruise. He's kidding. Elise laughed, stirring lemon curd like a swimmer pretending not to notice a storm. The rehearsal dinner was the encore. Tyler raised his glass and called me our family's tiny whistleblower, with the cadence of affection and the substance of warning. Laughter rounded off the edges. When I set my napkin down, Mom squeezed my wrist. Sweetheart, she murmured, don't let it get to you. Be elegant. Elegance is just quiet painted gold. I sat in my car afterward and listed who would believe me if I ever spoke. Nia, Theo, maybe Elise's old roommate Jess, rooftop in my contacts. The list was short but real. It's strange how being minimized sharpens you. You begin filing your soul under exhibits, color-coding your doubt. I promised myself that if the day came, I would bring paper to a place that worships performance. Then someone else arrived early at the venue, carrying a story I never expected. The earliest red flag came wrapped in a compliment. Years ago, Tyler messaged me at 1:12 a.m. You're the only one who really understands Elise, attached to a recital clip only Elise and I had. The file name he used, img_7315. MOV, matched a link I'd sent her from my cloud the week prior. How did he have my private share? I rationalized. Maybe Elise forwarded it, maybe a shared album. Then the accidental encounters. Tyler showing up at my bus stop twice, arriving at the print shop where I tempied, handing me coffee exactly 2 sugars, 1 cream I'd never told him about. You're like family already, he'd grin. After their engagement, a burner DM asked, does Elise know about the rooftop? I deleted it because denial is a blanket you can sleep under for years. At a barbecue, he demonstrated how to fix a grill knob, hand brushing mine, then blaming the heat. Later, don't make things dramatic, whispered like a kiss made of static. When I got a new phone, he guessed my passcode in 2 tries and laughed like we'd flirted. The pattern kept appearing like a watermark I didn't want to see. One night, he texted, you keep secrets well, followed by a wink. I had told him nothing. That was the moment fog congealed into a wall I couldn't pretend was mist. A voicemail arrived next morning that made my stomach feel like wet paper. On the eve of the wedding, my phone lit up with messages stacked like plates nobody wanted to wash. From Mom, tomorrow is about Elise. Please don't stir anything. From an unknown number, we see you, Mara. Keep the peace. A minute later, think of your mother's heart. It read like someone else's mouth. I called back, straight to voicemail. Tyler's text followed. Makeup starts at 7. Don't be late. And please don't bring your crusades. Crusades is a good word if you want ethics to sound medieval. Silence was still an option, but silence notarizes permission. At 10, Nia called. Document everything, she said. Time, date, number, tone. Screenshots, even missed calls. Facts turn noise into proof. I screenshotted. At midnight, rooftop, Jess texted, he used my phone once. Check your shared album settings. I checked, and dozens of access logs bloomed like mold. Devices named Tyler's iPhone and Tyler's iPhone, too. A request to download Elise's Vows, Draft 2, from my drive, time-stamped and successful. The air grew thin. I made tea I didn't drink and wrote a timeline on a legal pad. Bus stop, print shop, grill, passcode, burner DM, vows file. At 1:41 a.m., the unknown number pinged again. You don't want to be the reason she cries. They were wrong. I wanted the truth to be the reason she didn't. Then a knock at my door turned my caution into immediate resolve. I opened the door to find Mom in slippers and worry, clutching a sweater like a life vest. Please, Mara, she said without hello, don't ruin your sister's day. Not Tyler's, not the wedding's, your sister's. It's amazing how grammar can choose sides. I'm not ruining anything, I said. I'm stopping a performance before it becomes a prison. She flinched. You always think you know best. I handed her chamomile. She didn't drink it. He apologized for the jokes, she continued. He promised to behave. Promises are easy when the audience is forgiveness. Do you want me to be quiet because it's true? I asked, or because it's loud? She stared at the hallway rug. I want peace. Peace without truth is staging, I said. She left with a sigh that sounded rehearsed. 5 minutes later, a text from Elise. Please don't pick today to be you. I typed, I love you, and didn't hit send. Then Uncle Theo called, voice warm steel. If you speak, bring paper. I know a venue manager who hates liars more than she loves bookings. At dawn, we met in a parking lot with a portable projector in his trunk and a plan drawn on the back of a catering invoice. Theo's last words before we split. Say less, show more, breathe. Then the unknown number finally answered, and the voice wasn't a stranger's. Venue Tech, the voice said, flat and too formal. Calling to confirm you won't need HDMI. I recognized the cadence, Tyler trying to be nobody. Great, I replied, because we'll need both HDMI ports. Silence. Then a small click. That single fake call was a gift. It meant he was nervous enough to pretend to be infrastructure. I headed to the print shop at opening and compiled the binder. Access logs, album permissions, IP addresses from Jess's screenshots, call records with the unknown number highlighted, the downloaded Elise Vows _draft 2. PDF, stamped with the time Tyler was at work. I added a one-page index. 1. Access logs. 2. Duplicate vows. 3. Burner number cross-reference. 4. Rooftop statement. 5. Verification plan. The verification plan was simple. Venue manager would confirm the call came from a personal line, not the venue. Uncle Theo would handle the projector. Attorney Patel would be on standby to authenticate the evidence's chain by phone if challenged. My hands finally shook, not from fear, but from precision. At 9:11 a.m., I texted the manager. Quick photo montage check. She replied, HDMI at altar pillar. I'll be nearby. In the bridal suite, Elise's makeup artist waved me in. Elise avoided my eyes. Tyler was nowhere. Nia squeezed my fingers. Receipts first, she whispered. Feelings later. Then Jess sent one more screenshot that turned suspicion into certainty. Jess's screenshot was a purchase receipt from a downtown print kiosk dated 2 nights ago. 5 color copies of Elise Vows _draft 2. PDF, paid in cash. The phone number on the kiosk order matched the unknown number that told me to keep the peace. I walked the trail backward. 2 months earlier, Tyler had asked Elise to practice vows to music and recorded them on Jess's phone while Elise was away, calling it a surprise montage. He'd airdropped himself into Jess's photo roll and never signed out. That explained how he hovered over our memories, changing nothing but seeing everything. The bank screenshots showed him liking posts at times he claimed to be in late meetings. Phone company records, Jess's, not mine, showed his second device pinging near my bus stop on nights he ran errands. I called the kiosk. The clerk remembered Tyler's too white smile and the way he kept checking over his shoulder. Guy said he needed copies for an emergency rehearsal. He said, receipt number confirmed. Paranoia turned into pattern, a clean spreadsheet I wished were a fever dream. I added a simple timeline slide. Date, action, source, verification. I didn't need to narrate character. The timestamps would. Then Tyler walked into the bridal suite and locked the door behind him. He leaned against the door like he owned framing. "You're making this weird," he said, voice made of sugar and grit. "Give me the binder." Elise froze in her robe, blush brush midair. "Tyler, stop," she whispered. He smiled at her, then at me, a private smile I never agreed to share. "You don't understand," he said. "I've paid to keep things quiet because I love her." He said the quiet part almost proudly. "Paid who?" I asked. He blinked. "Vendors who gossip. People with misunderstandings. Hush payments, not to strangers, but to people he'd cornered with charm and then fatigue." Jess's NDAs flashed in my mind, the ones she refused to sign. The what crystallized? A pattern of coercive messaging, hush favors, and off-the-books payments meant to burnish a persona and isolate Elise from reality. The why was still fog, ego, control, or sport. "I can fix this," he said, reaching. Nia stepped between us and said calmly, "No touching." Elise whispered, "Mara." It broke something in me I didn't know was whole. "If he loved you," I said, "he'd want the truth lit, not paper cut to death." Tyler's eyes hardened. "You do this," he said, "and you leave this family." I smiled without heat. "I left the night you called me your tiny whistleblower." Then his phone lit up with a message that exposed his favorite leverage. On Tyler's lock screen, a preview. "Final payment clears once the ceremony starts. Need confirmation." He turned it face down like that could erase it. Elise's mascara trembled. "Payment for what?" she asked. "Noise," he said. "People talk." I put the binder on the vanity, index page up. "We can handle this two ways," I said. "Private warning, which will be buried under spin, or controlled public reveal, which protects anyone after Elise." I looked at Elise. "Your call, not his." She was always conflict-averse, but she wasn't fragile. She read the index like a map out of a burning room. "If it's true," she said, "I don't want pretty lies. I want the house lights on." We drafted a plan like paramedics triaging a pileup. Step 1. Venue manager verifies the suspicious venue tech call isn't theirs. Step 2. Jess stands by phone to confirm the airdrop and the kiosk purchase. Step 3. Theo cues the slides only when Elise nods. Step 4. Attorney Patel answers a single question on speaker. "Is this enough to refer to counsel?" Step 5. I read one sentence. What, not why. Step 6. We stop. Short sentences. Theo reminded us over text. Documents, not drama. Elise took my hand, then let it go. "If I nod," she said, "don't look at Mom." "I won't," I said. "I'll look at you." Then Mom knocked, and Tyler's mask clicked back into place with a smile. Mom stepped in and inhaled the tension like secondhand smoke. Tyler's voice dropped into honey. "Mrs. Hall, we're just dealing with cold feet," he said. "You know how sisters get." He reached for Elise's shoulder. Nia's eyebrow lifted a millimeter and his hand paused. "Mara," Mom pleaded, "don't humiliate our family." I almost folded. It's a reflex born from 1,000 small concessions. The urge to protect the room from the truth. Uncle Theo texted me then. 3 words that anchored the floor. "Receipts outweigh charm." I breathed. "Mom," I said, "if the truth humiliates us, we built on rot." Her eyes filmed. Tyler whispered, "You'll regret this, just for me." "Maybe," I said, "but regret is lighter than complicity." Elise slipped into her dress without help. "I will walk," she said. "And if I nod," we stopped the music. Tyler's jaw flexed. His smile returned for the hall like a backstage costume. As we lined up, he leaned close enough that I smelled cologne over fear. "After today," he said, "you will have no one." "After today," I said, "I won't be alone with you." The doors opened. The quartet began. The choreography was set. Then the officiant reached the blessing, and Elise gave the smallest nod imaginable. The venue manager was ready with the mic switch. Theo had the projector wired to the pillar. Jess waited on speaker. Attorney Patel's number was queued. I stepped forward and said one sentence. Before vows, we need to confirm that what we're promising is real. Murmurs. A champagne flute rang against a table. Someone laughed the way people laugh at funerals to keep breathing. First, I said, the venue tech, who called me this morning. Can you confirm? The manager, clear and cool. We did not call. The incoming number is not ours. Slide 1. Call log. Number visible, timestamped. Slide 2. Album access logs with Tyler's iPhone and Tyler's iPhone 2. Slide 3. Kiosk receipt with matching number and the file name EliseVows_draft2. PDF. Jess, I said on speaker. Did you authorize access? No, she said. He used my phone, airdropped himself, and didn't sign out. Tyler tried to laugh. This is grotesque, he told the guests. She's obsessed. Theo moved to the next slide. A simple timeline. Date, action, source, verification. I raised the mic. Attorney Patel, one question. Is this sufficient basis to pause a ceremony pending counsel? Yes, came the voice precise. It warrants immediate review. Elise squeezed her bouquet like a rail. The room tilted toward truth. Then Tyler stepped forward and told the room his reason, and it was uglier than lies. I did what I had to do, Tyler announced, volume calibrated for sympathy. Elise is easily influenced. People, he glanced at me, obsess over hurting us. So I controlled the narrative. Controlled. The word landed like a key turned from the outside. You paid people to be quiet, I said, and monitored us to curate Elise's reality. He pointed at the slides. This is about love, he insisted, about protecting her from anxiety. His mask slipped as he talked. The charm turned clinical. He admitted to covering vendor gossip, editing surprises, and filtering Elise's communication when she was overwhelmed. He tried to blame me for finding the edits. She's always been dramatic, he told the guests, the public turning of a private knife. Elise closed her eyes. Play the voicemail, she whispered. Theo tapped the final audio, Tyler's voice saying, once the ceremony starts, final payment clears. No more leaks, no more sister access. The room inhaled as one organism. Tyler barked. Out of context. Patel's voice came crisp through the phone. Context will be the first thing a judge requests. Tyler's smile cracked into something sharp and boyish. Elise, he pleaded, you know me. She looked at the timeline. I do, she said quietly. Now I finally do. Then she handed me her bouquet and stepped away from the altar without a word. The quartet stopped mid-phrase. A guest sobbed into a napkin. Someone swore softly near the bar. The officiant closed his book as if it could protect him from splashback. The venue manager asked Tyler to leave the platform. Security drifted closer like weather. Mom begged Elise to reconsider optics, and the phrase made Elise laugh. A single wild sound like a hinge snapping. Tyler tried to follow. Security placed a palm between him and us. Just enough force to become boundary instead of theater. He kept talking. We can fix this. The media cycle will pass. There was no media, only family, but he thought in headlines. Elise looked at me. Can we go somewhere with air? In the bridal room, we called a car. Patel texted a list. Preserve devices, cease contact except through counsel, document all threats, change locks and passwords, file a basic report to timestamp facts. I lost my apartment sublet the following week because the landlord panicked about drama, and Mom didn't speak to me for 9 days. At work, I took extra shifts to outrun guilt that wasn't mine. Tyler's friends posted about family betrayal, and strangers I'd never met sent advice and threats mixed like confetti and nails. Theo sent soup. Nia sent a playlist called Documents, Drama. Elise slept on my couch, then on Jess's, then with an aunt. We learned that leaving a performance requires more logistics than starting one. Then Tyler's lawyer called with an offer that sounded like a velvet gag. The offer, a non-disclosure plus a reputation stipend, if we agreed to say it was cold feet. Patel's reply was a neat wrecking ball. No. Elise started therapy with a counselor who didn't apologize for asking hard questions. We made a spreadsheet of practical life. Passwords changed, devices wiped, accounts separated, a P.O. box for Elise, an emergency script for Mom when relatives pried. I wrote conditions for any future contact with Tyler. Only through counsel. No unsupervised proximity. No protective edits masquerading as love. I wrote conditions for myself, too. If my body tenses when the room laughs, I leave. If someone calls me dramatic for bringing documents, I stop bringing myself. Elise and I cooked together twice a week. Nothing fancy, just food you can eat without checking it for clauses. Mom came by with a pie and the old line about how things look, and Elise said gently, "I don't live for the camera anymore, Mom." We returned the dress. The boutique owner hugged her like a grandmother who understood triage. The venue manager sent a small invoice and a large note. "Thank you for choosing oxygen over applause." It became our joke. On hard days, we text the word oxygen and eat toast. On better days, we keep our binders closed and open the windows. Then Mom asked to meet for coffee, promising she would finally listen fully. We met at the quiet cafe with the potted tree that looks like a survivor. Mom held her cup like a second chance. "I wanted peace," she said, and I confused it with silence. We breathed. I told her I don't want victories. I want habits that don't demand a witness to be believed. Elise joined us halfway through and described her future the way a person describes a safe house. Windows, locks, a table big enough for questions. I thought about the ballroom and how truth sounded against crystal. Messy, undeniable, loud enough to be real. Here's what I learned. Dignity isn't the absence of mess. It's the presence of receipts and the refusal to let performance hire your conscience. If you're afraid to speak, write everything down. Dates, times, apps, file names, who verified what. Tell one steady person and borrow their spine while you find yours. Keep legal and social steps simple. Preserve evidence. Change access. Speak short sentences. Breathe. Love should feel like oxygen, not stage direction. The wedding didn't give us the life we planned. It gave us the life we deserve when we choose air. The music stopped. Our voices didn't. Elise laughs more now, the kind of laugh that sounds like daylight. And when people ask me if it was worth it, I say, I didn't choose drama. I chose daylight and documents. And somewhere, far from string quartets, we finally learned the shape of quiet courage.